Train number 47, The Ghost of Mabira Forest. October 15th, 2019. A small cafe in Dar es Salaam. Rain tapping against the windows. That's where Michael Roberts, an American journalist, met a man who would change everything he thought he knew about the world. The man's name was Joseph Mutesi, a retired railway conductor, 60 years old, with eyes that had seen too much. Michael was working on a documentary about the East African railway system, just another assignment. But what Joseph told him that rainy evening was far deeper, far more terrifying than any story he'd ever covered. Joseph's voice carried a strange weariness as he spoke. "You're writing about trains. Then maybe you should know that some trains, some journeys, are connected to the darkest pages of history." From his worn bag, the old conductor pulled out a burnt notebook. The cover was half charred, pages yellowed with age. "This is my diary," he said. "For 15 years I recorded everything that happened on train number 47, and now I want to tell someone, because I don't want this truth to be buried with me." Then came the confession that made Michael's blood run cold. "I have cancer, stage 4. The doctors say maybe 3 to 4 months left, so this is my last chance." Joseph began his story. Train number 47 ran between Dar es Salaam and Kigali every Friday night at 11:45 p.m. Built in 1987, 12 coaches, capacity for 500 passengers. But the real story was about Mabira Forest, a dense, dark jungle stretching 200 kilometers between Tanzania and Rwanda. During the 1994 Rwandan genocide, millions of people had fled into this forest. Thousands died right there, some from hunger, some from disease, some from violence. "Those bodies were never found," Joseph said quietly. "The forest swallowed them whole, and some souls, they never found peace." March 2006, that's when it started. It was 2:30 in the morning. Train number 47 was passing through the densest part of Mabira Forest. Joseph was checking tickets in coach number 7. Most passengers were asleep. That's when he saw the man in seat 14B. Tall, dressed in black, but his hands were white as ice, and his eyes were empty, just whiteness. Joseph approached, asking for a ticket. The man just stared, said nothing. 15 minutes later, the seat was empty, but something lingered there, a strange coldness, like ice had been sitting there for hours. In seat 14A, a businessman slept peacefully. David Ngoma, 38 years old. He had no idea what had been sitting next to him. The next morning in Kigali, David Ngoma was terribly ill. Fever, violent shivering, and he kept repeating the same words over and over. "Someone was sitting next to me. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. Such cold fingers touching my face." 14 days later, David Ngoma was dead. Cause of death? Hypothermia. In April. In Tanzania, when the temperature was 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Joseph knew something was wrong. That's when he started his journal, recording every strange incident, every impossible death. Over the next 13 years, 47 incidents were recorded in that notebook. But Joseph only shared a few with Michael that evening. September 2008. Grace Mukabo, a 29-year-old school teacher. She reported that a small child came and sat beside her on the train. The child didn't speak, just stared with empty eyes. Grace's official statement was chilling. When I touched that child, his skin was cold like a corpse, and in his eyes there was nothing, no spark, no emotion, just emptiness. 3 weeks later, Grace died in a road accident. The police report said she suddenly stopped her car in the middle of the road, as if seeing something. Then a truck hit her. The driver's testimony was haunting. She was standing there, staring straight ahead, but there was nothing in front of her. November 2011, Thomas and Sarah Lukala, newlyweds returning from their honeymoon. At 2:45 a.m., a woman appeared in their compartment. Sarah's account sent chills down Michael's spine. She was standing by the window, watching us. Her clothes were torn, soaked in blood, and when Thomas tried to speak to her, she vanished, just disappeared as if she'd never been there. 6 months later, Thomas killed himself. His suicide note read, "That woman still appears to me every night. She wants something from me, but I can't understand what." February 2014, 6 college students all reported the same impossible sight, a man walking in the corridor, but his feet weren't touching the floor. He was floating inches above the ground. 3 of those 6 students died within 2 years. Car accident, drowning, mysterious heart attack, all under 25 years old. Joseph's voice was grave as he explained the pattern to Michael. Whoever touched those things or got too close, they died soon after. Sometimes immediately, sometimes weeks or months later, but death always came, always. Then Joseph told Michael about the night that changed everything. August 17th, 2017, Friday. His hands trembled as he spoke. That night, I understood the truth. Train number 47 left Dar es Salaam at 11:45 p.m. 287 passengers. Everything seemed normal at first. At 2:15 a.m., the train reached point 23B, the densest, darkest part of Mabira Forest. Joseph was in coach number 4 when he heard it. A scream, so loud, so terrifying, it seemed to tear through reality itself, like someone's soul being ripped apart. He ran to coach number 5. 2 passengers were there, Charles Buenda, a 45-year-old farmer, and Emily Nyabira, a 32-year-old nurse. Charles stood by the window, his face drained of all color. He was pointing outside, unable to speak. Joseph looked out into the darkness. What he saw defied explanation. Something was running alongside the train. No, not running, flying. A black shadow with eyes that glowed red in the darkness. Then Emily screamed. Joseph turned. There, in the corridor, that same figure was now inside the train, moving toward them, slowly, deliberately. Then something happened that Joseph had never witnessed before, not in all his 15 years on that route. The figure spoke. "You should not be here." The voice came from everywhere and nowhere, like a whisper carried on the wind, and in it was pain, unimaginable, ancient pain. The train's emergency brake engaged. The figure vanished, but when everyone rushed outside to check the cars, Charles and Emily were gone. The entire train was searched, every coach, every bathroom, every compartment. Nothing. They had simply vanished. The next morning, 2 bodies were found at the edge of the forest. Charles Buenda and Emily Nyabira. The post-mortem report stated, multiple fractures, fall from a moving train. But every window had been closed, every door locked from the inside. How did they get out? That's when Joseph realized he had to know the truth. After that night, Joseph couldn't sleep. Every night he heard that voice echoing in his mind. You should not be here. He started a real investigation, digging into old records, searching for answers. And what he found. He showed Michael an old photograph, April 1994, during the Rwandan genocide. I got this from a local historian, Joseph explained. Look closely. In the photo, a group of people were running through the forest, desperate, terrified, and behind them was a train. Joseph's voice grew heavy with the weight of history. In 1994, during the genocide, thousands of refugees were fleeing on trains. The Tanzanian government ran special relief trains to save them. One of those trains was train number 47. On the night of April 23, 1994, train number 47 was packed with refugees, over 600 people, mostly women and children, all fleeing the violence in Kigali. At point 23B, the train stopped. Michael felt his throat tighten. Why did it stop? Joseph took a deep breath. Because there were bombs on the track. The militia had planted them. The train got stuck right there. And then they came. Armed, organized, merciless. Tears filled the old man's eyes. In 1994, in Mabira Forest, over 600 people were massacred. Inside that train, no one survived, not a single soul. The government covered it up. An international scandal would have destroyed them. The bodies were buried deep in the forest. The train was repaired, cleaned, and put back into service. The same train, train number 47. Everything suddenly made terrible sense to Michael. Those figures Joseph had been seeing all those years, those weren't random ghosts. Those were the souls of the people who died on that train. 600 innocent people slaughtered in the darkness. Michael asked the question that was burning in his mind. But why were they killing passengers? Why take revenge on innocent people? Joseph's answer was haunting. Because we were in their place, on their train, the train that became their grave. They weren't taking revenge on the passengers, they were taking revenge on the train itself, on the machine that failed to protect them. Joseph paused. His hands were shaking now. But Michael, that's not the whole story. He opened the very last page of his notebook. There, in faded ink, was a name. Yusuf Mutesi. "My real name is Yusuf," Joseph said quietly. "I changed it to Joseph years ago, after I ran." Michael felt the world tilt beneath him. In 1994, I was 25 years old, and I was the assistant conductor on that train number 47. The old man's tears came freely now. That night, April 23rd, 1994, I was there. I was on that train when the militia came. His voice broke. When they attacked, the driver and I, we ran. We abandoned our posts. We left 600 people to die. Women, children, families, all of them. We hid in the forest. We heard the screams. For hours we heard them screaming. And then, silence. The driver killed himself a week later. The guilt destroyed him. But I kept living. I changed my name, created a new identity, tried to forget. And then, in 2004, when the Tanzanian Railway restarted that route, I did something I still can't fully explain. I took a job there, on train number 47, the same train. Michael had to ask, "Why would you do that?" Joseph's answer was desperate. Because I thought maybe I could make it right. Maybe if I stayed there, protected the passengers, those souls would find peace. Maybe my sin would be forgiven. But I was wrong. Every time those spirits appeared, they looked at me too. They knew who I was. They recognized the coward who abandoned them. On August 17th, 2017, when that figure said, "You should not be here," it wasn't talking to the passengers. It was talking to me, to the man who let them die. Charles and Emily died because of me, because I was there, because those spirits wanted me to feel what they felt, the terror, the abandonment, the betrayal. Joseph hung his head in shame. I told the railway authority everything, the whole truth, the 1994 massacre, my role in it, all of it. They thought I was insane, sent me for psychiatric evaluation, but they were scared too. When the story started going viral on social media, when journalists started asking questions. In June 2019, they shut down the route. Official reason, track maintenance. Real reason, they knew there was something on that track they couldn't explain, something they couldn't control. Joseph looked at Michael with tired, dying eyes. And now, I have cancer, stage 4. Maybe it's their final revenge. Maybe they've been killing me slowly from the inside. I don't know, but I know that soon I'll meet them again. And this time, I won't be able to run. This time, I'll have to answer for what I did. 1 week after that conversation, Michael went to Mabira Forest himself. October 22nd, 2019. A local guide named Abdullah agreed to take him to point 23B, though the man was clearly reluctant. The old railway track was barely visible now, swallowed by moss and jungle growth. Nature was reclaiming what humanity had abandoned. As soon as Michael arrived at point 23B, he felt it. A coldness that had nothing to do with temperature. The air itself felt heavy, oppressive, like an invisible weight pressing down. Abdullah's voice was tense. "We shouldn't stay long. Local people won't come here, especially at night. They say you can still hear sounds, screams, crying, the voices of the dead." Michael pulled out his camera and started taking photographs, professional documentation, evidence. Then he saw something on the camera's LCD screen. Between the trees, far in the distance, there were figures, dozens of them, blurry but unmistakable, all standing completely still, all facing the same direction, all looking at him. Michael lowered the camera and looked with his naked eyes. Nothing, just trees and shadows. Michael raised the camera again. They were back, still there on the screen, still watching. And then one of them started to move forward, out of the background, coming into focus. A woman, clothes torn and blood-stained, the same figure Sarah Lucola had seen, the same one that had haunted Thomas until he took his own life. But this time, she was looking directly at Michael, directly into the camera lens, into his soul. Then she started moving towards him, slowly, deliberately. Abdullah saw the terror on Michael's face. "Run, now!" They both ran, crashed through the undergrowth, didn't stop until they were well clear of the forest. When Michael finally looked back, his blood froze. There, at the edge of the track, hundreds of figures stood watching. Men, women, children, all standing in perfect silence, all staring at the two living men who had dared to enter their domain. That night, back in his hotel room, Michael checked his camera. Every single photograph was deleted. Hours of work, gone. Except one. One image remained, the last photo he'd taken. And in it, written in the dirt across the old railway tracks, as if traced by an invisible finger, were 4 words: "We have not forgotten."
January 3rd, 2020. Joseph Mutesi died alone in his home. The medical examiner's report stated the cause of death as hyperthermia. In January, in Tanzania, when the outside temperature was 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Beside his bed, they found his notebook. On the very last page, in shaking handwriting, were his final words: "They came, finally. I am ready. Forgive me." 17 people attended his funeral, but every single one of them noticed something strange. Outside the church, far back under the trees, figures stood watching. Hundreds of them, just standing there, silent, observing. When mourners looked directly at them, the figures vanished, but in peripheral vision they remained, always watching, always waiting. Today, in February 2026, that section of Mabira Forest remains closed. The Tanzanian government built a new railway route that takes a wide detour around the forest. It adds hours to the journey and millions to the cost, but no one complains. Train number 47 sits in a scrapyard outside Dar es Salaam. It's been there for 7 years now. No one will touch it. No salvage company will take the contract to dismantle it. The workers say that at night, if you get too close, you can hear sounds coming from inside. Voices, crying, whispers in languages both living and dead. And sometimes, if the wind is right and the night is dark, people living near Mabira Forest report hearing something else. The sound of a diesel engine, old and distant, coming from point 23B. The local people know the truth. Every Friday night at 11:45 p.m., train number 47 runs again. Not in the physical world, perhaps, but somewhere, in some dark place between life and death. A ghost train carrying ghost passengers, forever searching for a destination it will never reach. Michael Roberts donated Joseph's diary to the Tanzanian National Archives. He wrote several articles about the Mabira massacre, though most mainstream publications refused to run them. No official records exist of the 1994 incident. The Tanzanian government maintains its silence. But local historians and genocide survivors quietly confirm that something happened that night. Something terrible, something that was buried and forgotten. But Michael discovered one detail that haunts him still. In Joseph's diary, exactly 47 incidents were recorded, 47 strange encounters, 47 brushes with the supernatural from 2004 to 2019. When Michael cross-referenced those cases with police reports, hospital records, and death certificates, he found something impossible. Exactly 47 people died, all after traveling on train number 47. The number bothered him, so he dug deeper. According to the one historian who would speak about the 1994 massacre, approximately 600 refugees were on the train that night. But when the bodies were secretly buried, only 553 were counted. 600 minus 553 equals 47. 47 people remain missing. 47 bodies never found. 47 souls unaccounted for. Maybe, Michael thinks, they're still on that train. Maybe those 47 spirits are still searching, still waiting, still hoping to find their way home. If you ever find yourself in Tanzania on a Friday night around 11:45 p.m., passing near Mabira Forest, stop. Listen carefully. You might hear it, that distant sound of an old diesel engine, getting closer, always closer. And if you see an old blue and white train emerging from the darkness, moving slowly down abandoned tracks towards you, remember one thing: don't get on. No matter what you hear, no matter who calls to you, no matter how much you want to help, don't get on that train. Because the passengers on train number 47 never get off. They never get off. They never will.